Good morning from well, actually it's good afternoon from my part of the world. This is 4046. I've been just taking the time off the last couple of days. Has had quite a busy schedule, so unfortunately making videos has had to take a back seat, but with a little bit of time we'll be back up again and posting more videos. Anyway, today's subject matter, there's probably a combination of subjects really today rather than a single form video. I think one of the things that I sort of like to talk about on this channel as this channel develops is editing software, and I've had some extreme trials and tribulations involving editing software over the last week. I managed to find a well-known one, and my goodness, it was massive size-wise. It was stupendous. If you know anything about memory and all that kind of stuff. It took about, this program was about 5 gigabytes in size. It was absolutely enormous. Unfortunately, my computer, being 8 years old, couldn't run any of it, so it wouldn't even start. It just said, you know, your requirements don't match, blah blah blah. So went back to the drawing board. I found another one. I'm going to start tinkering with it soon, and possibly either edit my older videos or leave my older videos as they are, but I want to make them a little bit more polished, a little bit more professional, potentially having things like graphics or what the subject is in the video itself rather than just being the title of the video. A few of you have said, oh, I wish I could make videos. Don't wish it, give it a go. If you've got just a camera, maybe a stand if you need one, and a memory card so you can save the video, do it. I mean, I procrastinated for 3 years before I did this, and I wish I'd done it sooner. Only this sort of last 6 months or so, my life has been very different from every other year of late, so it's given me time to think about it and think about what to do and what not to do. But that first action is make a video. One friend of mine who knows me as Big Soup, so you know who you are, was talking about making making videos with guests, but guests which were in a particular field of expertise, and then talking about their experiences and stories. And to that person I say, do it, just do it. Even if it's just one video and you do one at a time over a period of time, and there's a bit of a pause between each one, just do it. Sometimes that is the biggest wall you have, is worrying about what you can do and what you can't do. This isn't easy, talking in front of a camera. I mean, the first couple of times were terrible, just because it's unfamiliar territory. You don't know who your audience is, who's going to view it, but to be honest, it's better to make it than wonder. Sometimes many of us think, oh, I'll do that one day, and then it never happens, or it gets pushed back and back and back, and then before you know it, you've got to a point and you just think, oh my goodness, I should have done that about 10 years ago. But that 10 years just flies by like no tomorrow. It's quite unsettling, shall we say. So I mean, if you're going to do something, and it doesn't harm anybody, and it might be a beneficial use to you, do it. I mean, I do say that in quite a few videos. Just do it. I mean, my stumbling block this week has been the editing software. I'm still going to have to learn to use it, but I'm going to give it a go. I probably will try it out on my first video and then re-upload it as an edited version and take down the first one, because 5 minutes is pretty easy to do compared to say 10. So I will be endeavouring to make better videos. Basically, as you can see, I've got a little bit of sunburn at the weekend because the sun decided to return, because the sun has seemed to have been on a hiatus for a little while. So now I'm back in southwest Kent, on the border of East Sussex, so that sort of narrows it down a bit more. And really, I suppose what you need to do is just have a clear idea and set yourself some realistic targets for what you may or may not want to do. Doesn't it just involve videos? It involves other things as well. Somebody, a good subscriber of mine, suggested I should get into counselling. I haven't had a chance yet to look too much more into it, but thank you for the suggestion. That's given me some food for thought. So a big shout out of Big Soup to my alliance, shall we say. Just a mobile game, but it's got a very good thing going on that particular game. So everybody else, just if you've not done a video before, do 1 or 2 test videos, because you can always delete them. You don't have to keep them. Just see what you are like in front of the camera. I don't really watch many of these, and I've watched a couple and I kept saying a bit too much, as I've said before, so do that a bit less. A sort of outline really. I want to start talking about subjects, but like things that happened possibly in the 80s and 90s. I mean, in the 90s so much happened, it was something else. I mean, one of the keystone things that happened was Nelson Mandela being released from Robben Island after all those years, and unfortunately there's now something called the Mandela effect, but we might cover that in a future video about that. Unfortunately, when they had the big concert and everything when he was released, I was under the weather at the time. I was at my grand's, and I remember it so well because she'd done upside down pineapple cake for some reason, but that afternoon I felt really bad, so I spent most of the time on the couch at my nan's. I normally lived with my parents back in those days. We occasionally spent time at my nan's and did various things because her proximity to London was very good. It was literally about 10 to 15 minutes and you were more or less in central London. She wasn't that far away from Wimbledon, so it was a village called Belmont, just outside Sutton. However, literally you can't differentiate now because they've kind of merged to become one, which is a shame. I mean, in this country you get all these little villages all over England, Wales and Scotland, and some of these villages are a treasure in their own right, especially the ones that have still got people that are living and working in them. Unfortunately, in this country we have entire villages which have been bought as second homes, so they're only used as holiday homes, and the local populace who used to be there couldn't afford to buy their own homes to live where they grew up. So you've got that sad situation of things. I'm not passing judgment on the people that have bought second homes, but it's not necessarily a constructive thing to do if you're relying on these people to provide services for you when you return, only to turn up and find out that your local shop, post office, etc. is all gone because there is no business in the down season, so off season. So some food for thought really there. I've just said that again, but that's fine. I think that I'd like to actually do some videos on villages and stuff. Said it again, but I think I'll leave that for a bit later in the line. And I'll show you definitely more of that coast, which I showed in that video on Thursday, or was it Friday? No, I think it was Friday actually. I'll definitely show some more of that because that's just one bay. The the amount of bays in that area is surreal, and they're all different bays. You've got 3 to 4 bays, but there's so many more than that even. I'm not going to do Margate because Margate is too busy, and in summer it's not great. I might do, actually that's unfair, I may do one of Margate, but it'll probably be first thing in the morning, just to show you what Margate is like. Many of you would have heard of Margate. It used to be almost like the big place to go in this country, just like the southern version of Blackpool, which I'm sure you've heard of, or Southend-on-Sea. But this video is coming to a close. I'll tend to probably do one video a day for the next couple of days, and we'll go from there, and you'll see eventually some of my editing as I get the learning curve. This is 4046 out. Please like and subscribe, really appreciate it. Thank you.